I spent 3 years calling someone my best friend before I realized our friendship only existed when it benefited her. And the weird part? She never did anything obviously wrong. She remembered my birthday. She replied to my texts. She showed up just enough to make me think we were close.
Yes.
If you've ever felt like an afterthought to someone you called a friend, stay right here. Because by the end of this video, I'm going to show you the biggest sign of a fake friend. And it's probably not the one you're expecting. Hey, welcome back to Daisy Explains. If you're new here, we talk about the stuff that's hard to admit out loud. Friendships, relationships, and the little things people do that reveal how they really feel about us. Today we're talking about fake friends. And yes, I'll tell you more about that friend from the beginning. Because the birthday wasn't even the worst part. Quick thing before we start. Comment the number of the sign that hits closest to home. I read every single one. Fake friends don't introduce themselves as fake. They laugh at your jokes. They show up in the group chat. Some of them even remember your birthday. But underneath it, the friendship isn't really about you. It's about what you can give them. And once you notice the pattern, it's impossible to unsee. Let me tell you about her. We met during freshman year, same dorm floor, and for a while, she made a new city feel a lot less lonely. We got coffee before class, hung out constantly, talked about everything. Honestly, I thought I'd gotten lucky. Then little things started happening. Whenever something good happened in my life, I'd get a quick reply. Nice, that's cool, happy for you. But the second something went wrong in her life, my phone would ring. Not a text, a call. And I'd answer every time. Because that's what friends do, right? Then one weekend she needed help moving. I drove 40 minutes, carried furniture, skipped my own plans. And I was happy to do it, because that's what friendship is supposed to be. Afterward, she thanked me. Then I barely heard from her for almost 2 months. No check-in. No, how did that thing go? Nothing. Until the next time she needed something. Back then, I told myself she was busy. But busy people still ask how you're doing. She just didn't. Number 7. They only reach out when they need something. A favor, advice, a ride, emotional support. If your friendship only becomes active when they need something from you, you're not really a friend. You're a resource. Number 6, they throw you under the bus. You're both late meeting up with the group. Someone asks what happened. And somehow, by the time they're done explaining, it was your fault. Something goes wrong, and suddenly they're protecting themselves instead of standing beside you. A real friend doesn't disappear when things get uncomfortable. A fake friend makes sure you're standing in front of them when the blame starts flying. Those first 2 are rough, but number 5, almost everybody has experienced it, and most people completely ignore what it means. Number 5, they constantly cancel plans. You plan dinner, coffee, a trip, and an hour before?
Oh, event canceled. Sorry.
Sorry, something came up. Once is life. Twice might be bad timing. But eventually you stop asking whether they're busy and start asking whether they actually wanted to be there. People make time for what matters to them. Number 4, they leave you out but never admit it. You see the photos later, the hangout, the event, the group gathering nobody mentioned. And every time there's an explanation. It was last minute. We thought you were busy. We didn't think you'd want to come. Maybe, once, but every single time, that's not an accident, that's a pattern. If you've made it this far, and one specific person keeps popping into your head, don't ignore that. The next signs are where excuses start getting harder to make. Number 3, backhanded compliments. Wow, you actually look really good today. That's surprisingly impressive. You did better than I expected. Sounds nice, feels awful. A real friend doesn't need to sneak a small insult into every compliment. That's not support. That's insecurity disguised as humor. Number 2, they talk about you behind your back. You tell them something privately. A week later, somebody else knows. The thing that hurts isn't the gossip. It's realizing your trust became entertainment. And trust is one of the few things that's almost impossible to rebuild once it's broken. Number 1, every conversation is about them. You tell them something difficult. For 10 seconds, they listen. Then somehow the conversation becomes their story, their problem, their experience, their life, every single time. You slowly realize you're always the listener, never the one being listened to. And the worst part? They rarely even notice they're doing it. And next week, we're flipping this around. How to tell if you've ever been that friend without realizing it. Yeah, we're going there. But first, here's the sign I promised you. The one almost nobody talks about. You feel relieved when they're gone. Not angry, not sad, relieved. Plans get canceled, and part of you feels lighter. The phone call ends, and your shoulders relax. You leave the hangout feeling better than you felt during it. That's different, because every other sign on this list can be explained away. This one can't. Your body notices things long before your mind is willing to admit them. Healthy friendships leave you feeling understood. Unhealthy friendships leave you feeling drained. And that friend from the beginning of this video? The moment I knew something was wrong wasn't the birthday text. It wasn't the favors. It wasn't even the silence. It was realizing the happiest part of the friendship was when it was over. That's when I finally stopped making excuses. So tell me, which sign hit the hardest? And did somebody's name come to mind while you were watching? Leave it in the comments. I read every one. If this video helped you see something a little more clearly, hit subscribe. Because next week, we're doing the harder one. The one where we stop talking about fake friends